That is the man from South Kakalaki, South Carolina, if you guys don't know the term South Kakalaki. That's going to be Alshon Jeffrey. He's only got 5 scores. He's only got about 450 yards, but he's a receiver I'm going to throw to when I want to win a game.
Nice top 3 by both of you guys. For the sake of time, I'm just going to run through my quarterbacks or running backs. Number 3 for my quarterbacks, I like, of course, Kellen Moore from Boise. Number 2, Robert Griffin III from Baylor. I mean, this guy's been doing it all. He's amazing. He can scramble, he can get out the pocket, make throws, and, of course, number 1, Andrew Luck. Now, as far as running back goes, Lattimore from South Carolina has suffered a huge injury. He's ended the season on it. It's some lateral ligament things. He's going to have to get surgery. He would have been up there. So now I have to replace him with a sub who I haven't even been paying attention to, this Ray Graham guy from Pitt who is leading the league right now in yards. Number 1, of course, is Trent Richardson, and the Michael James also falls in there from Oregon. Disappointing loss to LSU, but they're bouncing back. They're currently ranked number 10, so let's see what Oregon does. We're going to now jump quickly, guys, into your top 3 schools. Just name them or we'll shoot to another commercial break. Alex.
LSU, Alabama, Wisconsin.
Solly.
LSU, Okie State, Boise.
I got LSU, Alabama, which is going to change, and then I want Wisconsin to get up there. Schedule's relatively easy. So I'm going to pick them for my number 3. We're going to shoot it to another commercial break. Don't go far. Don't you touch that remote. You're watching Off the Bench. Welcome back to Off the Bench. We're now going to jump into some NFL news. Breaking news this morning. I haven't even heard Carson Palmer's name until today. He's clearly been traded to the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. They had to work around some money issues. He still had, 4 years or something with the Bengals that they had to work around that money. Is this a wise pick for the Oakland Raiders, or did they pay too much, Alex?
I think it was just a situation where Oakland was desperate after losing Jason Campbell.
Yes,
and I'll give Mike Brown of the Bengals some credit because it didn't seem like he was going to trade Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
That drove the price up on Palmer. With the Raiders being desperate, that's how,
He was ready to sit down on the couch. I heard he was working out and everything, but he gets a chance to play this year, which I know he's happy about. So did the Raiders pay too much for this for a quarterback who never even won a playoff game?
I think this is an overall good move. I mean, it's Carson Palmer.
Yeah,
he hasn't won a playoff game,
from
but
USC.
He's still a solid quarterback. Yeah, coached under Pete Carroll,
Yeah.
I mean, not only is it a good move for the Raiders, but it kills that controversy in Cincinnati. I mean, I'm sure it was still underlying there within the organization. Now Cincinnati can finally focus on the surprisingly decent team that they have this year.
I think what helped is the quarterback play from Cincinnati. If that guy wasn't getting it done, there's no way they let Carson Palmer go to the Raiders. They got in a desperate situation. Jason Campbell goes down for the year. Terrell Pryor's still on the roster. He's quite not ready. He needs to learn under somebody. It's a good situation. He could be the quarterback for the future. Why not learn under Carson Palmer? And then you have Terrell Pryor just waiting there, learning, getting ready to be a Oakland Raiders starter quarterback one day. So I think it's an overall good move for the Raiders, who have been playing well this season so far. Now, sticking with quarterback issues, what team right now is suffering the worst quarterback issues to you, Alex?
I think it's the Denver Broncos with Tim Tebow. And the jury's still out on Tebow. I'm not saying he's going to be a horrible quarterback, but just a new regime that didn't draft Tebow. If he doesn't work out, the team's going to have to spend another first-round pick on a quarterback in the span of a couple of years. Never a good situation when that happens.
Really not a good situation in Denver at all. And then they trade away their best wide receiver recently, really not making the case any better for Tebow. I think they're kind of setting up to fail. Sodi, what team is suffering the quarterback issue the most?
The surprisingly okay Washington Redskins.
Wow.
Sexy Rexy or John Beck, which way do you go? Rex threw 4 picks against Philly. You don't throw 4 picks and start the next game. Yeah. Shanahan's saying he's going to do what's best for the team, and he didn't really say much about Beck in his press conference. So, I say that's the biggest controversy. But Shanahan's playing it off as it's not a big deal.
Yeah, they said they'll name the starter, I believe, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Santana Moss went on the record to say, it's no doubt Rex Grossman needs to be starting, but that was a very rocky game by Rex Grossman. We'll have more on that later on in the show. In my eyes, it has to be the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, you signed Donovan McNabb, you expect him to do well, and he just hasn't been cutting out at all. The Vikings have been a premier team in the NFC. They've been doing well for years. It's just like it's all downhill. I mean, Brett Favre was even able to come in and put some spark into this offense. After being traded, I talked about someone on the show before, after being traded within the same conference from the Eagles to the Redskins, you would think that you had something to play for, something to fight for. Never won a Super Bowl, a lot of Pro Bowls, NFC championships, NFC championships and whatnot. And Donovan, I had hope for you, but now you're going to have to prove to me something. And then Ponder, he's really not ready right now. You're throwing him into the fire. I mean, I guess it's good to get your experience right now. But
in a very tough division this year.
Minnesota's struggling. They're struggling right now. So now I got a special question for each one of you guys. I did this topic strictly because Sodi was on the show, who happened to be an avid Packers fan. Unfortunately, the Steelers lost to the Packers in the Super Bowl. So, what are your team's futures? I know me and you are both Steelers fans. Steelers got a kind of shaky win, that we got, but where do you see our team falling the rest of the season?
I had no idea that Nick was a Packers fan. I would move my chair away a little bit. I had no idea. I think things are looking up for the Steelers, though. I know last week was a little dicey, but I think it actually showed how scary this offense can be. We just missed on a couple of the deep balls.
Wow, Ben would have connected on a few more.
Exactly. It would have been a blowout, and no one would have been talking about a close win. We're going to get guys back healthy. Chris Kimatu should return this week. James Harris will be back in the next couple of weeks. I think the team is communicating better. Defensively, always been solid. Chris Hoke's doing an awesome job with nose tackles, so things are looking up for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're running through linemen like I don't even know what to compare it as. Like we're running through them though. Got to get that thing sealed. Sodi, where do you see your team? I mean, the future is evidently very bright right now. I mean, undefeated. Where do you see the Packers ending the season?
I see if Green Bay loses, it may not be until the NFC Championship game, which will be the winner of Detroit-San Francisco Part 2.
Wow. The Packers have been playing too well for my book. I mean, I didn't want them to come back after the Super Bowl and do this good. They had a close game against Carolina. I would have loved Cam Newton to get a win in that one, but it just didn't happen. They just consistently got defense, offense. I mean,
but I wouldn't necessarily say defense this year, because if you look at it, the games where Green Bay's scoring points, they're also letting up points. The games that Green Bay isn't scoring points,
them, though,
exactly. When Green Bay isn't scoring points, the defense isn't letting up points, though.
I mean, they're still on top right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody can knock them off. I would hate for the Steelers to get to the Super Bowl and have to see them.
Again.
No, please not. All right, we're going to shoot it to our last commercial break. We'll be coming back with the wrap-up. Don't go far. You're watching OTB, baby. Hey, we're going to wrap some NFL stuff up that I forgot to in the last block. I like my graphic down there, the surprise kitty. But most surprising team right now in NFL to you, Alex?
I'll go with the New York Giants. They don't look that good on paper. They don't run the ball that well. A ton of injuries on defense, but they're 4-2 in a tough NFC East, and they're just finding ways to win, and that's mark of a good team. A team that might not, look flashy, but they just get W's.
Get the job done.
That's all that matters.
Sodi, who's your most surprising team right now in the NFL?
I've got a good and a bad. Bad's going to be real quick. Philly. What are you doing? Dream team. Not so dreamy anymore. And good, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. 4-2 right now in the AFC East. What is going on?
It's a different football spectrum since last year. I mean, a lot of teams who were horrible are back on top, and it's just crazy right now. I never would have expected the season to be like this. But my most surprising or the San Francisco 49ers, who are 5-1, I believe. And it's like, who would have thought? Who would have thought the 49ers, of all people, would continually just be able to get it done? I mean, they beat Detroit. I didn't pick them winning that game. No one picked them beating Detroit with their streak that they've been on right now. And it's just something that people haven't been really paying attention to. Like you said, how well the 49ers have been doing.
I mean, we're talking about Detroit, San Francisco, and Buffalo in Week 7.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. They got a better record than the Steelers. Wow. We're now going to jump into the highlight of the week because the NFL is just crazy right now. Highlight of the week, Alex, what's yours?
Trent Richardson's 76-yard run against Ole Miss. 6 tacklers missed on the Ole Miss defense.
Yeah.
Shows why
we actually had the video because that was my same one, but quickly. Sodi, what was that?
Once again, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Fred Jackson going 80 yards, making Aaron Ross trip on the way to the end zone.
That was awesome. But you just missed, if you were watching that run by Trent Richardson, was just crazy. It was a freshman who he shook like that.
Still.
But to have a guy just totally stunned, I mean, you're on the sideline, nowhere to go. Push him out of bounds or something. He hits you with the right, left, and it accelerates right into the end zone. It's like, this guy, quoting that as his Heisman moment, but his Heisman moment won't come until he plays the LSU Tigers defense, I believe. So that game is one of the biggest games of the season. Now we're going to jump into the, moment of the week. Alex?
Hawaii versus San Jose State. I took combined 12 turnovers. I'm glad I missed that game. It was brutal.
That 12, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I hope they ran extra wind sprints out there in the practice or so. Sody, what was your all-man moment?
All-man moment, how about them Cowboys blowing it against the Pats? Come on, Zambori. Where's your Cowboys at?
Cowboys are just, I don't know, 1 week they're up, next week they're down. I mean, you got Jones bashing them. Hey, they went too conservative, or then they didn't run the It's just crazy in Dallas right now. My all-man moment came from the Washington game, which we spoke of earlier. Rex Grossman, not throwing 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. I have 2 of them on video right here, and it's just like, wow, what are you just throwing it at this point? I mean, are you looking where the defense is at all? Or are you just out there just, I'm glad they pulled him. Then the guy comes in and gets a rushing touchdown, so who replaced him. So we're now going to give you guys something what to watch for the upcoming week. What you got, Alex?
This Saturday, Wisconsin-Michigan State. You talked about it. Wisconsin hasn't had much of a test yet. They'll get one in Michigan State.
Yeah, hopefully that people could give them some respect and more recognition, because Wisconsin is a great team. Sody?
I like this. We're on the same page, fella.
That's good.
Big Ten football. That's what it's all about. Hard-nosed Wisconsin, hard-nosed Michigan State in East Lansing, Saturday night, 8 o'clock. That could be your potential Big Ten title game.
Yeah. Mine's is the Pens. The Pens played in Minnesota tonight. That game started at 7:30. We're currently 3-2, which is not the start of the season. And our last loss came to the Winnipeg Jets, who just got hockey back this year. Come on, Penguins. Get it done. Crosby, get your back on the ice, okay? So we can continue to win and do our thing, all right? That's all I want to know. Any final words, guys?
I know our high schools play this week, Penn Hills and Kiski area. You guys will likely destroy us.
Oh, yeah, I had one more thing to say for our man moment. That Clarion, they kicked a field goal. It not only got blocked, but returned for a 70-yard something touchdown, which is just, it's crazy.
Easy there.
The special teams, Clarion is just ridiculous right now. So, any last words?
Somebody give Green Bay some competition in the NFC, please. I was hoping for an undefeated showdown between Detroit and Green Bay on Thanksgiving Day.
Clearly not.
But I don't know. And Penn State, you're back in the top 25. Stay there.
Well, that's going to do it for another great episode of Off the Bench. For Alex, Nick Caldwell, a.k.a. Sody, I'm Dom Walker, your host. Remember to follow us on Facebook. Check us out, Facebook/Off the Bench. You can also go here and follow me on Twitter, Mr. Clarion. At Mr. Clarion, I'm on there. And, remember to get off the bench and get in the game, all right?